Okay, thank you for meeting with me.
Of course.
I just wanted to start off first how it's been working with our new acting president, Joanne Epps. How do you like her approach on things? How has it been with her?
So it's been great. I mean, I knew her prior to her appointment. She's extremely thoughtful. She's involved. So I have to say, since her being appointed as the new interim president, we've had a great working relationship. We meet on a weekly basis. She gets briefings from me at those times, and then prior to the week, I'll give her a briefing on the past week in email form. So we're hitting those meetings kind of week by week with what are the initiatives that took place last week, what are the plans for this coming week, what are the needs, and then working through the rest of the month and the semester. So it's been great so far. I know she's working hard to get up to speed with everybody and meeting with a lot of different people. So I'm very encouraged by her appointment for sure.
Awesome. So did you guys work together on the safety audit when that was released?
We did. So once she came into her position, getting her aware of what the safety audit was, all of the details, what is already underway, what are the initiatives and the priorities moving forward from public safety, as well as the collaborations with our community groups. And then, it was really just about setting the plan moving forward.
Yeah. So Charles Ramsey was also a part of the safety audit, and he was in the conference too. How was it working with him? And are you still in contact with them about any other new information since the safety audit?
Yeah, so since the safety, well, I'll go back. I was brought on, I started in August. He was already engaged with the audit. So I was fortunate to come in. They were already engaged in starting it. Literally, I met him the second week, and we started meeting from that time until the audit was put out. We still regularly talk on a quite frequent basis, just to talk about like different types of strategies, or talking more about like resources, like who do we contact for different types of things, because they've done a lot of audits nationwide, so they have a lot of connections. So also leveraging him for kind of connections for other programs that have had the same recommendations, and asking how they attack them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I do remember from the safety audit there was 68 recommendations. Yes. How has that been going?
It's going great. I mean, a couple of people have asked me, in the days after, how do you feel about it? I feel great about it. I am excited about it. I think for us within public safety, it validates what our employees, both our, all of our police officers, dispatchers, security officers, our administrative staff have been saying prior to me getting here, and then once I got here. So it validates, all of the things they're experiencing, and it helps us establish the path moving forward. It's nice to have an external person also look at it, a group that looked at it and said, these are all the things you need. And then, for us to take that and implement it into a plan. So, I'm looking at it, we're doing short, mid, long-term goals within the 68. 61 of them are very specific to public safety. And then we have a whole other group that is doing all of the, working with us to leverage like our communities and like listen to their needs. What are the things that they would like to see, as well as looking at public safety pieces. So I think we've formed a group that is really encouraged and excited to initiate and continue to move on these. Some of them are already underway.
Oh, that's perfect. If you can say
Sure.
any that are underway?
Yeah, not a secret. And I think that's one of the things with our new website, and that was one of the recommendations. Like, created a new website which looks great. It's going to make things easier. We're currently working on a kind of a dashboard so that we can put information up there. And some of these cross over between 21CP and the Violence Reduction Task Force, and then the Mental Health Task Force will have additional recommendations. So we want to have a nice, clean space that we can direct people to say, hey, here's the initiatives we're working on. So the website was one of them. Camera audit is completed. We've already started initiating increased cameras. Lighting, we're constantly working on. That project, although I would love to be able to cross it off the list, we'll go back to it every year. So we're actually working on a camera policy now. Some of the other things on recruitment and retention, working on a recruitment and retention program, a policy, as well as a lateral program to bring police officers over, and we're talking to the union about increased salary and benefits to make it more enticing for police officers to come to Temple.
That's nice. Actually, I just want to ask you, how has your time been at Temple since you've arrived here? I feel like so much has happened. How are you doing with everything?
I think good. I mean, it's definitely, there was a huge learning process. The most important thing was like getting to know our students, our faculty, my department, developing those relationships, listening to people to hear like what are the needs, and then really the point of me being brought into this position, its creation was to look at best practices.
Yeah.
So to use my 23 years as a Delaware State Trooper Commander, my PhD, years of research and teaching in a university, to pull that together and say, this is where we're at, this is where we need to be, and here's the strategic plan to get us there. So I feel like the pieces are coming into place, and it's really strategy, people, you know, and then I've talked about the 5 pillars that we're kind of building everything from. So that's personnel, training, equipment, technology, strategy, collaboration, and messaging, communication. So as I look at these 68, I'm tying those into the 5 pillars and like, okay, how are we going to leverage relationships, communication? How are we going to have positive, you know, interactions with the community while also carrying out strategy through our personnel? So all of these are interconnected, and I feel like the pieces are coming together. It's like all the pieces of the puzzle were on the table. It's now just pulling them together.
Good. Good. Makes me happy. I want to talk about, because you know, graduation's coming, 2 weeks. I'm one of those people graduating. It's crazy. For the students that are staying here in the summer, I want to talk about summer safety. What kind of operations are going to be going on here? Are there things that won't be available, or things that are new that are going to be available for students staying here in the summer?
So a lot of the same programming will be going on. I mean, the walking escorts are police officers, security officers, bike officers. Allied will still be on site. We do have a lot of students who stay, they're taking classes, or they're just living and working in and around campus, but we'll still be here. We are going to be working on a lot of different projects on our messaging, so making sure that students are aware about like the different resources. I've already talked, actually today I was talking to the group out of facilities that runs the flight shuttle. So we're looking at doing a survey to kind of get feedback from students to improve in the fall. So we'll be doing a lot of you know, different types of engagements, trying to get student buy-in while they're here. For safety, always the same things. Be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you're locking your residence, whether it be on campus or off campus housing, locking and securing your car, making sure you're removing anything from the vehicle in plain sight so it doesn't look enticing. And then we always encourage people to walk in groups, you know, and pay attention to the TU alerts. Make sure you're registered on the Rave Guardian, you know, those type of things. We know that they're available. We just have to continue to message them to our students and the faculty.
Awesome. My one producer and another reporter, Maggie Fitzgerald, spoke with Joanne Epps the other day, and Joanne mentioned working with Estelle Richmond, the CEO of Philly's Coalition to Save Lives. Have you been talking to her or talking to Joanne about her?
Yeah, so there's like I said, the group for the 21CP, as well as other initiatives. You know, Dr. Valerie Harrison works with them. We're also working with other faculty. I've attended the Coalition to Save Lives presentations, like watching their website, being in connection on the research that's going on. So they're part of our community engagement piece of the 21CP, as well as the university strategy. So I think it's exciting to see people who have been doing this work for a very long time in Philadelphia, that know the resources, they know the challenge, working so closely with Temple so that we can bring all of these resources together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to ask about the street renaming that's going to happen for Sergeant Fitzgerald. Do you have any updates on that?
Yes, so today actually, Officer Wimberly was down. They actually made the signs. So the signs are done. They look amazing, they look great. Now we're just working on a date. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get everything lined up to get the date before our students were going home, but we are planning on doing it within the next 2 months. We're just working on scheduling. There's so many people, elected officials, the family, people here at the university, the community. We want to try to get a date that can accommodate as many people as possible.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice. Do you have any comments or messages you'd like to tell the Temple community?
Yeah, so one, for our students, you know, for people who are graduating, you know, thank you for making Temple what it is. We hope that you had a wonderful experience here, and that you learned, and that you go out into the world, and that you'll come back to us, and maybe you'll, you know, be a participant in some of the programs as an alumni. For our students, like, good luck at finals. Be cautious of the drinking. We have seen an increase in the overconsumption on the weekends. We've had a lot of students that we've been transporting to the hospital and things like that. So it is a stressful time. Kids are graduating, they're going off into the working world. They're also, you know, it's going home for the summer and things. So just be mindful if you're drinking, keep an eye on your buddies, and we'll be here the whole summer. So if you need anything, just call.
Awesome. Thank you
You're welcome.
so much. That's all my questions. Do you have any questions for me?
I think I'm good.
All right, cool.